Alright, so it's on. Okay, it seems to be on. First and foremost, I want to say, calling Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim HaKakodash. To honors to the elders and apostles of your millstone, to do one teach well. Honors to the brothers, push the truth across the four corners with all sincerity. I'm just gonna get into this topic of another pestilence coming up this year, July 2nd. So today, 4:17 p.m. Explosive diarrhea illness reported across the United States. See map of reported states. So we'll just read the AI overview because I'll just shorten it for us. So a surge of cyclosporia, whatever. A parasite caused diarrheal illness. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Has affected over 17 U.S. states since May, with a notable spike in Michigan, prompting health officials to urge food safety precautions ahead of July. Since May 1st, 2026, has sickened hundreds of people in more than 17 states, according to the CDC and state health data. As of June 16th, 145 people contracted infection in the United States. We don't have to read all of it. So it's more considered to a seasonal illness. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, the parasite responsible for this gastrointestinal infection, Cyclospora cayetanensis, is frequently found in fresh produce. When a single multi-state outbreak has not been identified for the current surge, the increase in cases appears to be part of this recurring seasonal pattern. Alright, so it's now coming back again in the season, coming back into the news and being pushed out again, which is all part of prophecy. The diseases that happen in this place, more diseases are gonna come, and we're just we gotta wait and see how this is gonna come. All right, how this is gonna pan out, whether this explodes in cases and becomes a really big thing, or will it just be like it always is? But so I'm not gonna read the rest of it. It kind of speaks on how it's transmitted. It usually goes from fecal oral, meaning that bare hand contact, from worker and poop particles in their hands or whatever goes on the food, and then the person eats the food after that. So like wash your vegetables and things like that before you prep, which I mean you should do that anyway. You know what I mean? Because if you buy it from the store, who knows what happened to it. That's really the most important thing is you gotta pray, man, because I mean, these foods are on these shelves, they staying out for extended periods. I mean, who knows what they did with it at the factory or whatever. So you gotta pray, because I mean. So Lord will have mercy on you, man, because people do get sick from eating other foods that be contaminated. Like there could be bacteria on it. Say if a food worker touched it with bare hands, you can get like really sick from that. Actually, if you have like a compromised immune system, she's always judging you, or you cannot have a compromised immune system, but can still judge you. If you really ill. So let's get into some precepts. Alright, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me who will deliver me in those days. Alright, because the prophet Ezra is seeing the visions of the Jacob's trouble being in full swing. And he knew that he would be around those times. We don't know who Ezra is reincarnated. but he would have to be a brother of this truth, man. Alright, because there's no other way. If you're a prophet back then, you'd be a prophet now. Alright? Ezra was a man of the Lord. So he'd have to be one of the brothers that are in Great Millstone, man. Alright? Because these other camps, they not men of the Lord. They ain't got it. They be, teaching all kinds of falsehood. They can't explain the MLTB. Ezra's in his time now. And if he's, still alive, he would be, your brother's still alive, he would, of course, know what the MOTB is and things like that, yeah. The beginning of sorrows and great warnings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do, and these evils shall come. Yeah, we in those times, man, we see in the beginning of, food prices raising, gas prices raising, right? So you get further into it, but it's not at that ultimate stage when Jacob trouble is going to be full swing. Bold famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for a moment. Alright, so this is just another scourge, man. You see these plagues, these things pop up. This thing is a seasonal thing. They're just, putting it in the news again. Right, which, if it's a seasonal thing, how come? I don't remember hearing about this last year, but now they're bringing it back. So maybe the leads are bringing it back to have it stay for a little while. Maybe they might make this a new Windows 19. Maybe they might say that you need the MOTB to protect against the parasites. Who knows how they want to spin this, right? Or maybe it might fade away again. They'll bring something else to be the reason for MOTB. Who knows? Maybe they might go the national security angle. For all these things, well, ultimately it's going to be mandatory, right? It's just extrapolating, through the spirit, With all these things, they should not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, right? So, yeah, they're not going to turn from their wickedness. They're just going to keep going on, right? The people, right? They see these things, they're going to keep going on in their wickedness, man. Our people, they're going to hear these things and be, oh, girl, look at that. Shit. So get my shrimp though. Right? That's what they be doing, man. They just gonna keep going on and on. Well, victory shall be so good to you upon earth that they should think themselves into being good case. And the initial eagles grow upon earth, sort of famine and great confusion. Yeah, that's what we're seeing now, man. Food is cheap right now. Well, not cheap, but food is, you're still able to get food, right? You're still able to, go to supermarkets and delis and, these different food service establishments and, procure food items, readily and easily. You have Grubhub, all these food delivery services where you don't even have to leave your house. But the time is coming where all these so-called luxuries, right? These so-called, maybe say luxuries, right? Society, that modern society has, is going to be stripped away, right? It's going to be gone. Why? Because of the famines, right? Because there's going to be a famine, like there's going to be a financial collapse, controlled demolition of society, right? No truck's going to come in with the food. The groceries are they only stock with 3 days worth of food, right? The money's going to be worthless because of the rampant inflation, right? You have all these different types of diseases going all around, and you're going to have people fighting over the food, people fighting against the government who won't be able to have a handle over it, which will be done on purpose, of course, right? The people are going to be fighting the government, people are going to be fighting each other. Like I said, you have race wars, you have political wars, Egyptian against Egyptian. Isaiah the 19th chapter, and I think even Second Ezra, not even, but Second Ezra 6 goes into it as well. Like, brother shall fight brother, so you're gonna see things like that coming up in the near future, right? So like it says in Matthew 24, the end is not yet, so don't be dismayed, right? Because more things need to come to pass in terms of MOTV made full mandatory, Jacob Trouble full swing, World War III, and then Lord Will and Salvation on the chariot. Alright, so yeah. So this is like another scripture. It's like was it 1 Thessalonians 5? You know, when they see peace and sea, thieves, then destruction cometh upon them. Alright, because our people are just gonna keep going on and on. From any that dwell upon the earth shall perish with the famine, and the elder, and their skid thus hunger shall the sword destroy. That's where we're coming, man. Those that aren't dying of hunger, man, are gonna get killed by, the modern day sword, which is the gun, and these weapons, man. Yeah, I mean, these people gonna lose it, man. Like in the movie The Purge. Well, society. So let there be that. I'm gonna get ready for bed. Alright, so once it's edifying, and that's it, show.